Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SparkleDart. So I was going on a little bit in the last episode about people believing false information that affirms their beliefs or the worldviews that they would like to hold. I guess to go off of that, I guess I don't want to rant too much here, but to go off of that, I'd just like to say that I think a lot of people are just kind of fed up with the way that the world is, and I think a lot of news outlets and journalists and stuff have been so mad about the fact that they lost the election that they're just trying to drag the whole world down into a sad, upsetting dystopia where they want you to think that things are worse than they really are just because they're fucking butthurt that they lost. And I'm no Trump supporter. I didn't vote for the guy. I didn't rally campaign for him, but I also didn't speak out against him because I understand completely why people wanted him to win. People wanted him to win because they knew who Hillary was and they knew that she was not a very good person. She's scary. She's like a demon. She's like a succubus. You ever hear that laugh that she does? Like, it's just really upsetting. It's ugh. Like, when I look at her, she doesn't look like a real person. There's one video that she did recently where she's like, I'm coming back in 2020. And she's like breathing heavily, and it's like 2:30 in the morning, and she's just breathing heavily into the camera, and she's like holding the camera and walking around her house, just pacing, and she's wearing like a big fat it looks like a burlap sack almost. It looks like a burlap sack, and her head looks like it's like CGI photoshopped onto her body because her body's like very stiff and not moving, and then her head's just kind of like her neck is moving around in place on her shoulders, which is wrong. That doesn't happen when you're a human being. But I know that this technology. I don't know why I am going. I don't know I'm going to talk about this, but I am going to talk about this for a little bit. This technology is real and it does exist that allows you to pretty convincingly create CGI effects. And if you're not graphically or visually inclined, you're not going to be able to tell that it's fake. And I wouldn't profess to say that I'm super good at that sort of thing, but I do work as a graphic designer in my IRL job, and I can kind of tell where things look like they've been photo manipulated, and you're less inclined to believe that it's real when it's you're less inclined to believe that it's real when it's a video, because it seems like it would be harder to fake a video, and rest assured, it is harder to fake a video, but it is becoming possible. And there's this video going around on YouTube. I don't know what it's called, but essentially just search for George Bush CGI or something. It's some nice chap fella who's recreating George Bush CGI motion capture. He's motion capturing his body, but it's converting itself and looking like George Bush in real time, and it's fucking weird. It's so bizarre. But people can do this now, and they think that this is what people did when Julian Assange was on, the Bill Maher show or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't watch that garbage. Anyways, they think Julian Assange is dead or something. I don't know. Go to julianassangeisalive.com and find out the truth. That's how you know. Anyways, that was a rant. Was I going somewhere with that? Oh yeah. Don't live in a fantasy world. Stay caught up, stay informed on real news, and don't let opinion pieces sway your view. So, I guess to go off of what I was talking about just a second ago, don't go to places like Reddit or really just Reddit. Don't get your news from the front page of Reddit. If you have a Reddit account and you go there, read the news subreddit sometimes, but take it with a grain of salt. Do not read politics, because politics is a huge echo chamber, and I honestly think most of the people on there are just being, I don't want to say scammed, but it's ridiculous that every single political piece on there is trashing on Trump for even the most trivial of things. Like, the fact that maybe he isn't attending the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and that's not even an important thing to hate him about. But people are hating him for that anyways. It's like, okay, I get being mad, but if you're gonna be mad about legitimate things. Be mad that he and his little cronies are going to crack down on recreational marijuana, and they're also going to crack down on, or they're going to reinstate private prisons. So those two things go hand in hand entirely, like completely go hand in hand. Because now that marijuana is, going to be cracked down on, people aren't going to be able to smoke it as openly as they have been. 420blazeit.com. It's going to be this huge. It's going to be this huge thing where people are getting arrested for something that they're legally allowed to do, or I don't know what the specifics are, but I think the idea is that that if you smoke it outside, or if you smoke it from people who don't have licenses to sell it, or whatever, I don't know. You're going to have to look into this information yourself. Like I said, don't get your information from one source. Use what I say as a guideline to do your own research is all I'm going to say. So you're probably sick of me talking about politics. Been doing that for about an episode and a half now. I'll give it a rest, but I just want to say stay informed, but don't get all your information from one source. In fact, never mind. I'm not going to go there. That's going to paint me in a very bad light, and I'm not going to be that guy. So anyways, let's make jokes. You ever been to the circus? I don't like the circus. The clowns there, it's easy to say that clowns are scary, and they kind of are. But I kind of wonder what the point of the circus is anymore, because it's such a relic of the past. The circus is essentially what people did for entertainment before movies existed. And when movies started to exist, you couldn't own them on VHS or home copies because they didn't have like VCRs and TVs and shit. So if you wanted to watch The Wizard of Oz, you'd have to go to the theaters, and you'd only be able to watch it like one time ever in your life. And then you could only just recant stories. You and your family are sitting around a campfire recanting the story of Dorothy, Judy Garland, and how she was abused by the midgets on stage. They used to molest her, and they used to smoke cigarettes and put them out inside of her vagina and stuff like that. And you might be thinking that I'm lying, and maybe that isn't accurate. But according to her husband, she was abused on the set, and I think that that's really interesting because that apparently is still a thing. Again, I don't mean to get super political here, but people like what's his face, Elijah Wood, Frodo or whatever, has been coming out and talking about how there's a Hollywood pedophile ring, and it's just this big thing where they just kind of sit around and load up files of lolly anime hentai on their smart devices, and then put it up on Rabbit, and then they watch this stuff together on Rabbit. They're all connected to through their Facebook accounts, and they're all just chatting on Discord and talking about how much they like to jerk off to lolly hentai. And these big Hollywood elites are doing this sort of thing. And it's becoming a huge problem because they're not making movies anymore. They're too busy looking at Japanese anime on the internet, and it's disgusting. And then they upload pictures of themselves, like they take videos of themselves masturbating, and then later masturbate to those videos. But they go on they record it with their Logitech HD webcam, which has a built-in feature to record videos and then upload them directly to YouTube. But if you don't rename the video, it gives it a default name, something like My Webcam Video, and then the date of the video that you put it up. So there's a bunch of videos of big shot Hollywood directors, Steven Spielberg and Zack Snyder and J.J. Abrams just on YouTube jerking off to hentai. It's a huge epidemic, really. It needs to stop, and it's making everybody not want to watch these movies. J.J. Abrams directed the new Star Wars, and people are going to think that Star Wars is just a way for them to peddle their smut, and they're not going to want to watch the Star Wars anymore, especially since they're not innovating anymore. They've decided that they're done innovating, and now they're just going to revisit the same themes, but in a different coat of paint. Because even though the prequel trilogy tried to do something new and it failed, they still tried to do something new. And, you know, it might not be fun listening to people talking about trade embargoes for 45 minutes, but it's different. If I had to give the Star Wars prequel trilogy one thing, it's that it's different. So thanks J.J. Abrams for letting us know that people don't want things that are different. When you're going to, I guess that kind of goes back on the theme of, okay, so South Park recently did their season with the member berries. I'm sure you watched it because you're a little fucking Melvins who are skinny and malnourished, or you eat Hot Pockets all the time and drink Mountain Dew. But for whatever reason, you're not fat. You're like weird and skinny, and you wear band T-shirts and hoodies all the time. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you right to your fucking face. So, anyways, my point being that the member berries are all like, okay, we want things to be exactly the way they were, never change. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine for what it is, but change is important. If Obama taught us any one thing, it's that change is important. So if you have like if you get one of those large novelty popcorn bottles, and then you empty it out, and then there's a little coin slat in the top, and then you can put coins in there. You fill that up with coins. You take it to Coinstar, get it exchanged for actual currency, but they take out 10 cents for the dollar. So you walk away with 90% of what you put in there, which could still be a lot because I did that one time, and my coin jar was filled up about 10% of the way, and I got $65 out of that. So my point being is change is important, and if you want things to be different, I guess you kind of have to push society in that direction. You have to be one of the harbingers of change. And Obama clearly couldn't get us to stop jerking off to anime, hentai, and remaking Star Wars movies with new characters. So thanks, Obama. Thanks for nothing. Goodbye. I'm SparkleDart.